from Balloon Utopia and Market with Balloons. And today I'm going to show you a birthday balloon squiggle surprise pedestal. That is a mouthful, isn't it? It's really fun though. It's a really fun design. So before we get started, what I need to show you is how to make curlicues, because this design really depends on a lot of curlicues. So I have a video on I actually have a couple of videos on how to make curlicues, so you can go look them up. One of them is a really simple way to do it by putting a 160, a very skinny balloon, inside of a 260, which is a slightly less skinny balloon. So definitely go look up that video. But if for some reason you don't have any 160s, but you do have a friend, then you can do it with your friend. So I'm going to invite my friend Katie, who is gracious enough to come and join me here at YouTube to make these videos. And I'm going to use her fingers to help me make some curlicues. So, Katie, what color should we use here? Orange? Yeah, let's use orange. All right. So first of all, you want to fully inflate the balloon until it feels like it's about at the popping point. And then let all the air out, okay? So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing that you want to do is you want to wrap it around your friend's fingers, starting with the end, and then gently making sure not to twist it, wrapping it around as much as you can. Now, this is the important part. They need to put a little bit of pressure to control it so that it doesn't fall off their fingers. So Katie's going to do that with her other hand. Okay, now I'm taking my handy dandy little air pump, and we're just going to inflate. And you see, as it wraps around her fingers, it kind of trains and it makes this really nice squiggle size. Katie, thank you so much. She's awesome, right? You'll be seeing more of her another time. All right, so there we go. That is the making squiggles with your friends method. So that's a good thing to know, but go and look on my channel to see the other couple of methods to do it as well. Okay, so now what we want to do, we're going to start with our base. So to do this, we're going to be using, on the bottom we're going to be using a 5-pack, and on the top we're going to be using a 4-pack. And that is because we don't want to have too much weight on the top, otherwise it, kind of bends and wobbles. All right, so to make our 5-pack, basically we've got our duplet, which is 2 balloons tied together, and we've got a triple, which is 2 balloons tied together plus 1. And we're going to twist those together so that now we have a ball of 5. We're going to take our second ball of 5. So these are inflated to about 7.5 inches. And these are inflated to probably about 6 inches. And we're going to twist all 10 balloons together and make a big giant ball. Okay, and now we're going to arrange it so that we have our big balloons on the bottom and our smaller balloons on the top, just like so. Okay, and the reason, wow, there's so much static in here. The reason that we're doing this is so that we create this pocket here. And this is really important because you see we have here a water weight. Now, you can see this 2 balloons. This is a double stuffed 11-inch balloon. So I have a video also on my channel on how to make the water weight, so you should go check that out. But basically, to be brief, I have an 11-inch balloon, I put another 11-inch balloon inside of it, and then I put it onto the spigot, fill it with water until it just slightly stretches. So it's very, very squishy, and even if I throw it or bounce it, it's not going to pop. So this isn't like those really thin 3-inch water balloons that your kids are playing with. Really important. Okay. So, and you see how it can just kind of nestle right in there. Now, what we have here is a 646, okay? And you notice that we do not have it fully inflated. We're leaving about, probably about 1.5 inch tip here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna tie the water weight to the 646, and we wanna tie it so that there's some slack in it, right? Because we're gonna wanna stretch this a little bit, and we don't want to put any friction or stress above the knot on the 646 because that will deflate the balloon. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stretch it, and we're just going to kind of nestle it into the balloons so that it kind of sits in that pocket that we created, just like that. Okay, And so now we're creating the pedestal part. There's a lot of static and apparently a lot of schmutz. That's why I keep blowing on the balloons. It's not something you have to do. It's just they're dirty. So, yeah. All right. So now what we're going to do is essentially we're just going to do the same thing. You don't have to. I mean, like, actually, you know, we'll just stack them on. So we're going to take our smaller balloons, which are the exact same size as the smaller balloons here, only now we're using a 4-pack instead of a 5-pack. And we're going to take that tip that we have left over and just wrap it around. And now just for good measure, I'm actually going to tie it to part of the, to the nozzle of one of these little balloons here. And now we're going to take our second cluster here. And again, I'm going to take out one of these nozzles from the pink quad, and I'm essentially going to wrap it around and tie it to a nozzle from the lime green quad here. You can do this in any colors that you want, obviously. These colors just make me really happy, so these are the colors that I chose. Okay, so now before I put the top on, I want to give it a little bit more stability and also dress this up a little bit. So I've got these purple squiggles, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap these purple squiggles around the 646. And so you see this one right here, it's kind of holding it a little bit tighter and stabilizing it a little bit. So it's not just a design piece, it's also for the stability of the piece. And so we're just going to kind of overlap them, and then it also gives a really interesting texture to the pole in the middle. Let's see. There's my other purple one here. So I'm kind of overlapping them and squiggling them. All right, just like so. All right, so there's our base, like that. This squiggle here is really wide, but that's fine. Worst comes to worst, you could always take a little piece of sticky tab and tape it down if it's not behaving the way you want. But what I wanted to create was a little bit of a high energy feel on that. Okay, so now to make your squiggle cluster, essentially what you're doing is you're creating pairs of squiggles. You're just tying 2 squiggles together and another 2 squiggles together. And then you're going to take your squiggles and twist them together. And then you're just going to keep adding to it. Just keep adding and adding and adding to it until it's as big as you want it to be. And in this case, it kind of looks somewhat Hooli-esque, doesn't it? When you get a massive number of squiggles together. Okay, and we're going to take a 260 and we're going to kind of tie it into the middle of our squiggle center. I don't know if you can see in there how we just have it in the center. Tie it in the center there. And then just place it on the top and using your 260s, secure it and figure 8 it around your quads. Okay, and now you're going to want to kind of rebalance it. Depending on how many squiggles you have, it might make it a little bit top heavy, so you may need to, play with the bottom a little bit to make sure that it's not going to lean or kind of bend it over. But there we go. It's a birthday balloon surprise squiggle pedestal thingy-majiggy-bob. And if you guys like this, or even if you don't, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I put out a new video every single week. Make sure that you like the video, send it to your friends, tell everybody you know that they should subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment letting me know what else do you want to see. I do a video every single week, and I listen to your suggestions, and I love reading your comments, especially when they're nice. And yeah, I want to, make what you guys want to learn. So anyways, this one is really fun. It gets a great reaction when you build it, and it's what we would say, packs small, plays big. So there you go.